Good morning. I am Michelle Yank, and I am the instructor for this Qigong class here at the YMCA. We have good news. Today is Tuesday, January 26th, and we just got word from the state of Oregon that we are going to be able to open again and have live in-person classes with social distancing starting on Friday, January 29th. So if you've been following me live, this week is our last week of recorded live sessions. There'll still be the library of recordings for you to draw from. And I just want to thank everyone for their flexibility and patience during this time, and encourage people to use that library of recordings for the days that we don't have classes or that you can't make it to class. This I've been trying during this period of time where we've been doing our recordings, I've been trying to give a little focus to each class, and today's is just going to be, last week it was on being calm. Today is going to be about movement and moving. And I don't talk about this every class, but I just want to remind people that the origins of Qigong go back thousands of years, and it is written that a Buddhist monk observed stagnant water and then thought about the moving, living waters that animals and humans were drinking from that kept them healthy and alive. But when people drank from, or basically people avoided stagnant water, obviously, but because it bore illness and disease. And so his thinking was that there was all this fluid inside the human body, and it seemed that it was healthy if the person moved their body more and was less sedentary and stagnant in their movement habits. And so thousands of years later, that intuition holds very true, and we have a lot of scientific evidence to back it up. So this practice that was developed thousands of years ago that we are still performing today is predicated on the idea that we need to move to be healthy, to be well. So we're moving not only our muscles, but we are moving the lymph, the blood, the oxygen, the nervous system communication from one nerve cell to another through the entire body. Even mind intent is moving things in the body. So the principle of physics that a body in motion stays in motion and a body at rest stays at rest is true, and we have to intentionally, with a routine, plan movement into our day. And so a class structured like this is a really great way to begin that habit. So I invite you to think about that and try different types of movement and see what it is that you will stick with in your daily life. Let's go ahead and warm up here with that inhale, arms overhead, exhale, fold down. Inhale, come up. Exhale, lift. I had a occupational therapist once tell me a variation of that physics principle, which was the more you move, the more you want to move, and the more you sit, the more you want to sit. It's very true. One more of these. Over the years, I've taught a lot of fitness classes, and one of the things that I always told my students was, when we give ourselves an excuse as to why we're not doing something that we know we should be doing, we really have to ask ourselves if it's legitimate. And as a general rule for myself, if the excuse is I just don't feel like it, I don't give myself, I don't allow that as an excuse. Let's interlace those fingers, come up overhead, extend, coming up on the toes. Inhale overhead, exhale into your side bend. Inhale up, exhale, other side. Back to center and down. Do 2 more of those. Extending up. Back to center. Inhale, then exhale into your side bend, really lengthening through the side body. Welcome. Good morning to my live participants. I appreciate you being with me this morning. Back to center and down. Inhale up. Exhale, extend. Back to center. The other beautiful thing about Qigong and Tai Chi and their slow moving practices is that it helps integrate all the different things that are going on in the body. The nervous system communication, the blood flow, energy flow, all of it gets coordinated and organized. Inhale, center. Exhale, looking over our shoulder, stretching through the neck. Inhale, come around. Exhale, look over the shoulder. Good. Warming up the joints here. We're going to step that left heel back and circle it in reverse direction. And then sink your way back into that back foot. You can keep your heel on the floor here or balance and circle and reverse. Trying to really get a full range of motion if you're able to circle here. I'm going to take that same foot back and circle it around. And reverse direction. And then pour the weight into that back leg. I think I'm running out of room behind me. Circle that toe. And reverse direction. Good. Bringing both feet together, squatting down, circling our knees around. If you haven't checked out the other videos in our library, we've got Enhanced Fitness and Tai Chi in the free YouTube library. So be sure and check those out. Try something new. And then, of course, our virtual Y has all of our programming that's been recorded, including yoga and Zumba. Circle those hips around. Really good options and variety, great instructors. Go ahead and reverse direction. Very few of us are disciplined enough to really do our workouts regularly without some degree of accountability. That includes us instructors. All right, shake it out inside the body. Then take it into that flying dragon. Keeping our knees slightly bent. Bring it back to center. Shoulder rolls, draw them up, back and around. So much of modern life has us sitting still in one posture for hours and hours of the day. It's just not the way the body's designed. Go ahead and extend those arms, circle those around. Inhale up. Exhale lower. One more. Extending our arms. Pressing, pointing, pressing, pointing. One more. Circling around. And reversing. And then squeezing into fist, releasing into flower. And last one. And finger touches. Back. All the way home. Shake it out. Deep breath in and out. Starting with that standing meditation posture, feet about hip distance apart, tucking our tailbone under, lengthening through the spine, opening the chest, relaxing the head, neck, shoulders, arms, and hands. If you feel comfortable closing your eyes in this posture, really helps bring the awareness to the interior, focusing on our breath, maybe expanding those hands as we inhale, exhaling through the nose, hands draw in, one more breath. Lower those hands down, coming into regulating the breath, inhaling those arms up, exhaling and lowering down, energetically lifting and extending, lengthening, and exhaling, sinking. So today's mantra or focus is on moving. So I'll put a little bit more emphasis on that. Last one of these. We're going to extend our hands out to this side, float across the horizon and load that left leg, stepping out to the right, exhaling. Inhaling, drawing back. Exhaling, floating forward. This is where we get to coordinate and synchronize the breath and all the different movements of the body. We can layer over that, moving our attention to what, not just the, oh, my arms are here and my leg is here, but the attention and intention behind the movement and the practice. We're exhaling, we're inhaling, imagining the breath and the hands connected in each phase of motion, each phase of breath. Maybe even ascribing a purpose, exhaling out something that isn't, that's holding us back, inhaling, drawing in something we need. Last one here. Coming back to center. Other side. Inhaling across the horizon. Exhaling as we step out and away. It's called pushing the boat. You can imagine anything that you're pushing away from you. It might be the dinner plate. Might be the ice cream after dinner. Maybe it's negative energy, negative people in your life. Last one. Coming back into center. Into shouldering the sun and the moon, rotating the torso, palms lifting. Exhaling, coming center, palms lowering down. With this torso twist, we're really moving a lot of the tissue surrounding all the organs of the body. Just like the rest of the body, that tissue can get really sticky and stagnant when it doesn't get moved regularly. So with this activity, we're freeing up the movements of the organs and all of the different systems and functions that they do for the body. We're also facilitating improving the balance between the right and left sides of the body, the front and back, the top and the bottom, range of motion of our joints. Optimizing all the different systems, all the different elements of the human body that keep us well, help us thrive. Can always tell when Kaylin gets here because I always smile and wink at the window. One more of these on each side. Exhale, lower down. We're going to step out to one side, arms overhead, inhaling, flexing those wrists, stepping back into center. Other side, this is Great Spirit Bird, spreads its wings. So imagine that these are just big giant wings. And as we step forward this time, our wings float up, they flex toward the ceiling, and come back to the front of the body, other side. Inhale, float up, exhale, returning back. A reminder to lift from under the arms to move the tissue of the body with all those lymph nodes concentrated under the armpit, around the breast or chest. If you're a man doing this today, bring it back to center. Going through the movements a little faster today and getting in a few more repetitions of each one, just changing things up a little bit, but because our focus is on moving, just felt like that was in order for today. With a regular practice of mindfulness, whether it's Qigong, Tai Chi, yoga, meditation, it's likely that you'll notice certain, almost like cravings, just like we get a craving maybe for a certain food or beverage. Our body will start telling us what it needs. It'll tell us if it needs an aerobic workout, burn off some excess energy, or a mindfulness workout where we're really doing a lot more slow and meditative activity. Pay attention to those urges, those nudges. Follow them. Sometimes we get hung up on thinking we need to do things a certain way, and we ignore the cues that our body and mind are sending to us. This practice really helps amplify those cues. They get real loud if you do this regularly. I'm going to go ahead and step out again, but this time we'll bend at the knees and lower down for lifting the millstone from the bottom of the sea. Casting the arms out as we step back to center. Just this side to side motion, chest lifted, weight back in our heels, only going as deep into that squat as works for you today. Inhale, exhale. If you start to feel any discomfort in the knees, or you feel like you're going to fall forward or backward, that's kind of a cue that that's just the edge of what the depth that you should be going to. Make little micro adjustments to protect your knees. Let those knees track out over those toes. Keep the chest and shoulders lifted and back to keep the weight in the heels. It'll help you really recruit the big muscles of the glutes, thighs, to pull your body weight up, strengthening those big muscles. I'm going to do one more on each side. Heart rate's probably getting up a little bit. That means you're moving more blood, working harder. It's good. It's improving your circulation. And back to center. Arms are going to float across the horizon again. We're going to step out, draw the weight across and into this standing leg and bring an empty step in or behind as we rotate looking up and back. So your modification is just an empty step inside with as much weight as you need on that empty leg. Might not be completely empty. But the goal is to eventually get yourself to the point where you're really relying on that standing leg to support the full body weight, building and strengthening the muscles in the standing leg, improving your balance, spatial awareness, all this cool stuff. Only adding that knee bend, and basically it's a curtsy lunge or a curtsy squat, single leg squat almost, when you're ready. More advanced motion. Again, we're twisting with the torso just like before, moving the tissues that surround the organs I'm gonna do one more on each side. Starting with this one. Last one here. And back to center. Ooh, my heart rate's up. Bringing it down the center line. Inhale, exhale as we step out. Float those palms out. Inhale, coming back. Exhale. So I'm going to turn a little bit more. So you can see the wrist rotation here. This is about movement today. We're inhaling, drawing in. And then as we come behind, we rotate those palms out. There's a method to this madness. It has to do with the Ming Men gate in the low back and the heart and lung meridians that culminate at the wrist, at the pinky and thumb respectively. It's way outside of my scope to practice or talk about anything related to the meridians of the body, but a lot of the movement is designed to act in the same ways that acupuncture needles act on those meridians. So my acupuncturist told me one time, if I practiced enough Qigong, I'd never have to come see her again. The last one on this side. Exhale, come back to center. Inhale and exhale. Here again in this rotation, we're moving and stimulating the tissues that have a high concentration of lymph nodes under the arm. When we move our attention and set an intention for that lymph system to be activated, it just layers over the motion, amplifying the benefits. Here's our last one of these. Coming back into center. Coming into old man strokes his beard, palms lifting. Stepping in, exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Step in, exhale, lower down. We started with a movement called regulating the breath. This is our closing movement, and it really similarly is emphasizing regulating our breath as we come out of those more intense exercises and work our way into a final standing meditation. We want to bring that heart rate down, slow the movement of blood and oxygen through the body. Fun fact, when we engage in cardiovascular exercise, including these, where we really aren't doing a whole lot compared to like running, as the body is asked to move blood further through the body, it will actually create new capillary beds at the extremities. So if a person's having issues with cold hands and feet and lack of blood flow to the hands and feet, fingers and toes. Nice little cardio regimen will help with that. Needs to be a regular activity, at least 3 times a week, getting the heart rate up enough to make that extra demand on the body. We're going to do one more on each side. And we'll finish here with just a few moments of standing regulated breath, standing meditation, just being present in this moment, maybe observing the movement that you still feel in your body, even though we're no longer moving our muscles. Taking one last breath in. Lower those hands down to the side as you open your eyes if they're closed. And bring those hands up to heart center. And today I really invite you and maybe even challenge you to think about movement in your daily life and how you can build more of it into your routine, whether it's actual exercise or just more intentional movement patterns. If you're a TV watcher, take advantage of those commercials and get up and walk around the room. Whatever it is, just find ways to fit a little bit more movement into each day. Thank you for joining me today. Have a wonderful day, everyone. See you next time.